Once again, thank you and welcome to Dallas. You know, in 1999, the last time we hosted Revolution, some of you were here. Some of you, that was your first Revolution meeting, trying to figure out what is this Revolution thing, what's it all about. And you came to Dallas, Texas, and gosh, we were just starting. We had 20 miles of light rail on the ground. We had some projects that were in progress, but weren't really going yet. They weren't developed yet. Mockingbird, one of the projects that we talk about a lot now, wasn't quite built yet. South side of Lamar at the Cedar Station was talked about. Jack Matthews, and some of you have already been to see that, but Jack Matthews had the vision, knew what he needed to do, knew what he wanted to do. And yes, there were critics. There were people saying, those things are going to happen anyway, right? It's not rail that's making that happen. They're going to happen. But if you talk to the developers, if you talk to Ken Hughes at Mockingbird Station, if you talk to Jack Matthews, who developed Southside and Lamar, they said, yes, probably so. We were going to do that with or without rail, but rail was a catalyst. Rail was the part that made the project, in some cases, actually develop quicker than what was initially anticipated. So as that was happening, people around our region started realizing, hey, this is more than moving people from point A to point B. This is a little bit bigger thing, and we need to start thinking about that, because the way we're funded in North Texas is we get a 1% sales tax to fund our operation. And cities outside the DART service area have been able to use that 1% for economic development. So our cities inside the service area are now saying this is our economic development tool, right? And we're even ahead of the game, because not only do we get economic development, we get the transportation that links it all together. So in 1999, we had 10 miles of Trinity Railway Express going halfway to Fort Worth. Today, through a great partnership with my good friend Paul Ballard at the T, and Paul is, I know you're here someplace. Paul, we have the complete, as the mayor said, we have the complete TRE between the two cities, between Fort Worth and Dallas. We have, as the mayor said, we have 90 miles of light rail. Yes, the longest light rail system, and sometimes I say the solar system, but certainly in North Texas or in the United States. And someone will say, yeah, but Gary, that's because y'all are spread out. You know, when we talk about sprawl, and that's what we talk about a lot in Revolution, we don't have an ocean or a river or mountains to constrain us. And so we sprawl, and we do it very, very well. Thank you very much. So part of our challenge is, how do we bring people back to the core? How do we control that sprawl? How do we define the development that then occurs? And the 13 cities that voted in 1983 to dedicate a 1% sales tax have been committed to doing that. And so that light rail system links those cities and is defining the development throughout that corridor, throughout those corridors, throughout the system. And I know some of you were in downtown Plano yesterday. You're going to Richardson today, and some of the other suburbs, Carrollton and Farmers Branch, some of the other ones, and really see how some of our suburban cities have developed. So as I said, it really is a regional effort. And of course, also since 1999, Denton County Transportation Authority has introduced their 21-mile commuter line from Denton to our Trinity Mills light rail station. And I know Jim Klein is going to be very engaged in the conference this week as well. So we appreciate the partnerships, we appreciate the relationships, because it really is all of us together making this happen. And yes, we even include the highway folks and the toll road folks, because it's a system. It's important that, you know, our world is changing in the transit world. It's changing every day. and it's about systems. And one of the things that really made it change for a lot of us is this smartphone. You know, now everybody has an app for that, right, Brittany? My millennial. And so she helps make sure I understand what those apps are for. But we all have the apps now, and that's how a lot of us are living from day. In Revolution, Dan, the Revolution app is awesome. I've loved looking at the pictures that so many of you have taken over the last couple of days and posted on the Revolution app. But as our industry changes, we have to change, we collectively have to change to keep up with it. So we're partnering, here at DART, we're partnering with people like Uber and Lyft, because our customers really just want to get from one place to the other. They want to live where it's convenient to transportation. They don't want to have to sit in traffic for the next hour trying to get to where they want to go. So make it simple for me. How do I get from here to here? Where can I live? Where can I shop? Where can I go to the doctor? Where are the entertainment venues? And how is it easy for me? It's about quality of life. We all know this. This is our story, and we tell it over and over and over again. In 1999, as I said, those projects were just starting to emerge. Mockingbird Station, the Cedars, Southside and Lamar was an old Sears and Roebuck, a warehouse building. They've changed. Those people had a vision. As I said, the rest of the community started realizing there is an opportunity here, and how can we catch up with this rail development? So you had cities like Richardson, certainly, focused on how they could take advantage of this infrastructure. Plano, downtown Plano, the sleeper station, as I call it, because you know you had one small development, not like Mockingbird Station where the whole thing sprung up, but you had a little development here. You had something there, and you know pretty soon, before you turn around, the whole downtown has been transformed. As some of you have had the opportunity to go on the different tours around the community, you've seen DART as it's fit into older communities. And again, something that we'll talk a lot about over the next couple of days. And how do you fit into an older community? What is gentrification? How does it work? And how do we protect some of these communities? Willie Mae Coleman is a good friend of mine. Mary, you know Ms. Coleman. She lives about a block away from our Hatcher station. And she would tell me, Gary, I don't want a Mockingbird station in my neighborhood, but I do want clinics. I do want some place to go to the store. I want grocery stores. I want to be able to buy fresh produce. And I don't want to have to travel a long way to do it. So it's our job, again, collectively, it's our job to think about how we do this and how we make it right. So fitting into an existing community or having a brand new community like City Line Development in Richardson, and I know some of you are going to go see that today, around the State Farm development, a brand new, literally, a brand new city springing up around a station. So you'll see how all of that fits together, and we can talk about that and what we're doing right, what, again, collectively, what we're doing right and what we can do better and how we can change it and how we can influence and impact the people's lives around our stations and around our transportation systems. And of course, as the mayor said, the other thing that we'll hear a lot more about is high-speed rail and the Texas Central Railway folks. Travis, thank you for being here this morning. We really appreciate your involvement over the next few days, because it's critical, I think, to the transportation network in our country to think about high-speed rail. As many of us know, is this new in the world? No, we're just last to get on board. So it's important, whether it be publicly funded, privately funded, I don't care how we fund it, Congressman, we just need to fund it and we need to get it going, don't we? So those are critical things as we continue to look at what's happening in North Texas, and those aren't the only projects obviously changing our region. You know, there's been more than $5 billion of economic development happening around our stations, along our corridors, and we all have that number. Our $5 billion was determined by a third party, by University of North Texas, so people can't say, well, Dart, you inflated the numbers, or you did this to the numbers, but University of North Texas said $5 billion, and that does not include public facilities, public hospitals, public convention centers. That $5 billion does not include any public, and it's everything strictly within a quarter mile of those facilities. Properties located near our stations are commanding a nearly 14% higher lease rate. Properties near rail lines are more valuable, and according to the University of North Texas, they're generating more in local taxes. Tax contributions for development located near our stations exceeded $36 million last year, more than twice the $14 million estimated for their control group of similar types of properties, but not near rail stations. So during your time here, you'll have an opportunity to see those projects that have come online, some that are in the development phase. You'll be able to talk to the people who are building them. We want to learn from you. Also, what's happening in your community, what are you doing, so we can continue to expand transit and transit connectivity in North Texas. We're seeing a transformation in our region. Access to transit is, for many, becoming as big a factor when choosing where to work and where to live, or where their school is, or where they're going to go shopping is, as it's ever been. North Texans, as do others in transit-oriented communities, know that transit is more than a transaction, moving someone from point A to point B. It's about transformation. It's about changing development patterns. It's about creating economic opportunity, and in the process, changing lives. So you'll see, if you haven't already, some great examples of connecting transit to housing, to jobs, examples of how aging baby boomers are finding options to a two-car lifestyle. We'll show you some examples of walkable environments that connect people to healthcare and other essential services. And you know that livable communities are healthier, more environmentally sustainable, and more economically vibrant, and that public transportation transforms neighborhoods, cities, states, and over time our entire country. That type of thinking is our focus on our regional day on Wednesday. Hopefully you'll be able to join us as we bring together a group of experts to talk about specifically what's happening in North Texas, what we're doing, and how we can do it better, and get your input and your ideas as we do that. North Texas remains one of the nation's fastest growing regions. As the mayor said, we're a big place and we're getting bigger. So we have to work together